Ironic.
1 E.
Two E. Three
Yeah,
E.
so I'm
Bro,
going
we need the
first.
old soundboard back, dude. The sound, bro. I'm
Wait,
telling you,
let's
have to-
Yeah, we
everyone
need
go
the
on mute. Everyone
soundboard.
go on mute.
Like,
Chill.
chill.
Go
Who
on
you
mute.
think chill to?
Everyone, bro, just go on mute. Chill.
Yes, King.
Speed, I believe in you. You got this.
Crazy.
All right, hold on.
I
I'm
need
gonna
to
just
cover
mute
this.
anyone who talks. I'm not gonna lie. All right, so I'm going first. My argument is literally just that in the first movie, Poe beats the dog shit out of Tai Lung once he gets amped by the scroll, and he realizes the lesson from the scroll, which was that there isn't any secret ingredient. You just have to be yourself. You don't have to try to be anything else. So once he starts being himself, he gets amped by the scroll and he beats the shit out of Tai Lung. Tai Lung can't damage him at all. And every single time Poe hits him, Tai Lung gets like absolutely fucking beat up to hell and shit. So Shen, who goes relative to Poe in the next movie, should obviously just have higher assertive scaling. And I can send the clip for that.
So can we go over the first thing you said about like Pulse being above Tai Lung? Now, is the Tai Lung he fought like at full like capacity? Is he at like full power?
What do you mean by full power? Are you asking if he's nerfed? I don't know if he's nerfed. I assume he's at full power. I don't see any reason why he wouldn't be at full power.
Why is there not a reason to? Why? Because we know that like he fought Poe for like a while.
You know,
now.
if he's
Like,
nerfed,
he
the author will tell us
Oh no,
that.
listen,
It's
stop,
not told to us. That's why it's a lack of expected
Wait,
observation. That's why I don't think he's nerfed.
Wait, hold on. We know that
Well,
he
no, I'm not
literally
going to
fought-
stop you asking me a question, so I'm going to answer your question.
Yeah, but I'm gonna wait. Hold on, wait. Yeah, and you just answered it, so let me talk. Wait, so we know that he fought Poe, so I just don't see why he couldn't have been like fatigued from like exerting energy. So like, please explain to me why it's likely he's at like full power, full
Poe also
capacity.
exerted energy. Why is this relevant?
Hmm.
Poe
Okay.
also exerted energy. Why is this relevant?
Okay. So I mean, so if they're both fatigued, if they're both unquantifiably fatigued, I don't know who's above. Like, what the fuck?
Unquantifiable. They fight. Nobody seemingly like exerts himself more than the other. They just try their hardest. So I would assume that the nerfs would be correlative. Like
Yeah,
one
prove-
nerf wouldn't be massively greater than the other.
I
Should
mean,
be
can you prove?
comparable.
I mean,
Not
can you
equal.
prove that? Wait, bro. Oh my god. Can you prove that? Can you prove that none of them exerted more energy than the other? Prove that.
I mean, I can't read their fucking minds. They're fictional characters, but
Okay,
we
so
literally
how
look
do
at
you
them
know-
fight.
okay, so how
How
do
about
you
you
know
shut
that?
the fuck up and let me finish? Relax,
Oh,
please, and thank you.
That was
Chill.
cold.
Try to speak. Okay. Sorry for cussing you out, but let me finish talking. So we see them fight. They're both trying their hardest. They make a similar amount of movements because, you know, in boxing matches and shit, this is sort of similar to that. Both people throw punches. One person dodges a punch or whatever. They travel a similar amount of distance because they move all around the little city that's next to the temple. So in every single instance, it looks like they're traveling a similar amount. They're exerting themselves a similar amount, and they're making similar movements. So that's why I think that they probably exerted themselves an equal or like relatively pretty comparably equal amount. And they both have the incentive to try their hardest there because they want to get the dragon scroll and stop the other person.
Okay, so I mean, to me, it looks like Tai Lung is like exerting himself more, and also Tai Lung could have just been like punching harder than Poe
Why?
has. I just don't see like
Well,
why.
he could have been punching harder, but what's the basis for that? And why do you think he's trying
need a-
more than Poe? Why is he exerting himself more than Poe?
Why do I need a basis for that? And I never said like he's exerting himself more than Poe. I don't know. I don't see what you're talking about.
You're skeptical on why he could have been. Hold on, you're skeptical on if he was punching harder than Poe. So I'm asking you, what's the basis for that? Why are you skeptical? Because you could skepticize anything. You could skepticize why the sky is blue, but if it's not warranted, I don't see why we should accept it.
Why doesn't he?
Like, I'm going to give you a reason why I affirm something. I think there should be a reason when you're skeptical on something as well.
Why? Why do I need a reason to be skeptical?
You have to convince other people, right? If you're just gonna like skepticize shit for the sake of skepticizing shit, I could just be like, oh well, I'm skeptical of this, and that, but it just looks like you're doing that for the sake of the debate. You're not actually trying to convince anyone. It doesn't really seem like you have any reason for this. If you don't have any reason for your beliefs, I don't see why anyone else should believe in what you believe in. I have a reason for believing what I believe in. I have a motivator, so that's why people should believe in me.
Okay, I mean, you can think
Believe in my
that.
belief, sorry.
I don't really care what you say, bro. But like I just do think you could be wrong. Like I just do think that like Tai Lung could have been exerting more energy than Poe could have. I just think he could have been like punching more. He could have been like exerting more force. So like unless we have some type of way to like know how much force they're exerting, I don't really see how we know if Tai Lung or Poe is at like full power, or if they're like what is it? If they're possibly like fatigued at like the same degree. I'm just saying.
So here's the thing. So you said that you think that Tai Lung is exerting himself more than Poe, so you have to prove that because that's how. No. Sorry, this is a lie. This is a lie. You said it's possible. No. Sorry, let me tell you what you said word for word. What you said earlier. Oh, you're not tracking. Sorry, Speed. Relax, buddy. You're gonna get served muted if you keep talking. So what I'm telling you is,
I'm gonna server mute you too. Like what the?
And then I'll just get unserver muted, and then you'll lose your perms. Pretty simple. So I'm gonna tell you this. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. Don't abuse me on me.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. You're gonna lose your perms if you unmute yourself again, buddy. So what I'm telling you is this. Okay. Earlier in the combo, bro. What you said was.
No one's losing their perms, bro. Just have to respect what they're.
Buddy is muted.
Wait. Okay, look. If you want him to shut up or stop interrupting, you could tell me or Goonie or Sparky or someone, and we'll mute for you. Okay, just don't use it yourself. That's bad faith. Because you're in the debate, it makes you look bad if you're the one muting. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but he's interrupting me. I don't really think it's bad faith, but sure, I'll do that next time.
Tell someone.
Yeah. Okay.
Bad.
So listen. What you said earlier was Tai Lung could have been punching harder than Poe, but I do think that Tai Lung is exerting himself more than Poe. This is what you said.
Okay, so can you strip it? You took away my.
So I need you to prove that Tai Lung is exerting himself more than Poe.
Yeah, that's a burden shift. I never said he was exerting himself more.
It's not a burden shift because this is what you said. You can say I'm not tracking, but it's not a burden shift.
Tracking. We can go back to the rec. I said it's possible, dickhead.
Yeah, sure. We can go through the rec, and you did say this, so you can just lose on this point. GG's. Easy fucking claps.
Yeah, yo, nigga, you're so garbage. Like, what the fuck? No wonder y'all whooped your ass.
Claps, nigga. You fucking suck, bitch.
You are dude, nigga. I just slammed you in 5 minutes.
Nigga. Your ass.
You are dude, nigga. I just slammed
your ass.
Nigga, you could not track
what I said.
5
seconds ago, you're still ass now. Your ass.
You suck, nigga.
You're bun.
You can ask more for right now. We can ask more for
how are you sub Anbu and sub Noxus Warrior? Nigga, pick a struggle. What are you doing? What are you doing? Nigga, what is you doing? Nigga's ass.
Wait, nigga, I just whooped your ass in 5 minutes. What the fuck? You suck, nigga. You doo-doo. You are doo-doo, nigga.
Nigga, your ass. What are you talking about? You sound fucking crazy right now.
I just whooped right now.
Tap in, Mono.
Morph, give judgment. I just whooped his ass.
No, Mono Ichi's a judge. Mono, tap in.
I don't think Mono Ichi is listening to this.
I know.
I'm curious on his opinion.
I'll embarrass you in front of everyone on Booze.
No, I know what I said, so I was tracking. But you couldn't.
Okay. Fuck.
I do think I won the second point. No, I'm fine.
You think you won the first point?
Yeah, I think
we're still on the first point. We're not on the second point yet.
Oh, okay. So yeah, why is everything you said true?
What? Buddy, if the first point is done, we're not going to talk about the first point anymore.
Okay, so let's move on to the Shen. Okay, let's move on to the Shen point.
Okay, then why the fuck did you say why is everything you said true? Oh, you mean for Shen? I'm sorry. My apologies.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. So hold on. Shen is trying to cut him with a dagger. Shen is trying to cut Poe with a dagger. Poe's trying to avoid that shit, and he's literally struggling to avoid it, and he's literally getting cut even though he's trying to dodge. That tells me that Shen is at a level of speed to where Poe just can't, like, speed blitz him or just completely avoid him. So the fact that he has some level of relativity, and I would wager high-end relativity, that gives me plenty of reason to believe that Shen would just beat the dog shit out of Tai Lung and just kill him.
Show me the clip. Yeah, show me the clip. You said they show the high-end relativity. Yeah, show me that.
Argument for silence.
Yeah. Also, Haram, are you saying like he was okay? So I mean, are you saying that like he didn't try to like blitz him? Yeah. Him deciding not to like try to blitz him could just be because he's holding back killing intent, or he's not trying to like severely like injure Shen.
Why would he let Shen injure him or cut him though? Huh? That's what doesn't make sense there.
Why would he hold back his reaction speed? Or why? Well, I never.
Why would he let himself get cut by a dagger?
No, listen. Okay, listen. I am saying right that like he can be like, how do I say it? I'm not saying like I'm just saying like he wouldn't be like using his full combat speed. I don't think he'd be using his full combat speed Like he can still be trying to like defend himself, so like he doesn't like get like pierced by like what is it by like the
So
needle. Or, but I'm saying like he doesn't have to be trying his hardest, right? Because there could be other factors that can like determine him not to try his hardest, right? Because for example, like he could be trying to save energy, so he could that could contribute to him not using his full speed. And like once again, even if I were to like what is it grant that like he's using his full reaction speed, I don't see how they show high in relativity because from what I remember, Shen is able
stop.
to tag in
Stop.
one.
You're saying too much. Can I respond to the first stuff you're saying? You're saying too much.
I
Don't
mean,
make like
okay.
5 different points and then expect me to respond to all of it because I'm
I don't
gonna
think-
like write shit
All
down.
right.
Like just make it easier for people to respond to stuff.
Well,
Okay, so here's the thing. It literally doesn't make like any sense at all for you to say like, oh well, he's conserving energy. Why would you conserve energy to the point where you're gonna let someone like cut you and hurt you? That doesn't make any sense. Poe was literally like fighting and trying to avoid attacks the whole movie, but then suddenly he just like is just like getting this idea
Yeah, prove that.
when he's
prove
not
that.
like he isn't shown to be exhausted at all. He isn't panting. He seemingly isn't low on stamina reserves or anything. He suddenly
Yeah,
gets this idea in his head. I'm gonna hold back to the point where I'm gonna get cut, but I'm still gonna conserve energy. That doesn't make sense at all. And
Yes,
you talk about stuff like combat speed and stuff. Combat speed, reaction speed, speed in general. These are just titles. Like you're explaining like someone's combat speed, like how fast they move, how fast to dodge attacks and punch attacks. Regardless, in this case, if someone's body is able to cover an amount of distance in a certain amount of time to where they can hit one person, that establishes that your body is capable of moving at a speed which is comparable to the other person because that other person is not able to cover the distance in the amount of time to avoid the attack. That is comparable speed. This is the same thing that we would say in a boxing match to establish relativity. Unless someone gets overwhelmed, but then you would say that that isn't like some conventional circumstance, so that's not going to be like a speed blitz or anything.
All right, bro. I'm all right. All right. I'm gonna try to like respond to everything you said. Okay. So the first point about how you said like you don't think it would like make sense for him to like hold back his reaction speed. Yeah, I'm gonna keep it straight. I don't give two damns about what you think, bro. Cause Poe could potentially think that this could work, right? Like I don't. Poe could think that like he might not like need to like use his full speed or full capacity to like to like dodge these like needles or whatever. Like your intelligence could just be greater than like Poe's intelligence. I don't see like a contradiction. I don't see like an issue. And then for the second point about you saying that he's been trying to like avoid or like dodge attacks
He's
around
trying
like
to be a stupid fighter.
yeah. Hold on. Yeah. The point about that, yeah, I just don't see like why those attacks can't just be more lethal than like Shen's attack. Like we literally see that like with the missile, like he did put effort into like what is it, dodging like those like that rocket missile or whatever. But like we literally see that it kills Master Rhino. This is like shown to be like a dead weapon, and like Shifu himself even says like this weapon could like just like ruin Kung Fu or whatever. So like I just don't see like why those attacks like Poe dodged or like try to avoid. I don't see like they could have just been like more lethal or more dangerous to Poe as like a fighter. And then like your third argument. So
A
basically, what
dagger
I'm
can
trying to
take your eyes out, and a dagger is lethal.
yo, stop cutting me off.
More
Stop.
lethal doesn't matter.
You're like, bro, like you're not letting me finish. I literally let you yap for like 5 minutes. I didn't cut you off. So now it's my turn because I literally let you talk for like a while, like while keeping my restraint. So what I was trying to elaborate on is that we've established that like I don't think Poe is like fighting with killing intent. He's actually like being pretty restrained. Like we really see that he's fighting defensively because I don't think he's trying to like severely like injure Shen. I do think he's trying to like talk to him and try to like convince him to change because Poe has moved on from the past. He even tells Shen that he should move on. So if he's like fighting restrained and like fighting defensively, I just don't see like a reason for him to like try to like what is it? Try to like blitz hit Shen or like hit him as hard as he can. Because again, that's not what he's trying to do. So if he's not using his full speed, that could just
a question.
hold on. That can just hinder him from using his full like
Yeah.
blitzing.
Are you just gonna like spam like, oh, well it could, instead of arguing for anything while I'm still trying to ask you a question?
I
All right,
literally
Haram, we need to talk about like philosophy 101 after this. Like no hate because you're tripping. Like you're just wrong. We can talk later though. My bad. Continue.
Yeah, so you know just what I said more. I don't know why you talk over.
Yeah. Okay. So Speed, hold on. So let me ask you this: when you said earlier in your argument, he's not trying to beat up Shen. He's just on the defensive. Sorry, because he's actualized his inner peace, and he's trying to get Shen to actualize his inner peace and let go of the past. Because Poe's already let go of the past, but Shen hasn't yet. Are you trying to say that because of that Are you trying to say because of that he also wouldn't be exerting himself fully when it comes to defenses? Actually, no, that's a dumb question. I'm not gonna ask you about that. Sorry. But I will say this though. It doesn't make sense for him to just be on the defensive completely because of some like past shit where he's actualized his inner peace. Because later on, he has inner peace. He's still beating up people. I think he's just trying to avoid Shen or whatever because I don't know. He doesn't want to kill the guy there or whatever. But he is still like willing to beat people up. Regardless, I just said a bunch of like irrelevant stuff. But to get to the main point, so you said that he could be like stupid earlier. That's why he's not going like all out, and I could be like smarter than him. So he could deem like this amount of speed necessary and be wrong about that. So like throughout that entire fight, these attacks are coming super close to him, and one of the attacks literally cuts him, and then another attack almost cuts him, and then another attack almost cuts him. For this sequence to make sense, under your interpretation, it has to be like he's avoiding most of the attacks like hair-free and pretty safely, and then one attack just happens to come by. But no, he's very close to getting hit by almost all of these attacks. And Poe is not shown to be a stupid fighter at all. So your interpretation doesn't be very cohesive. It doesn't make sense as a whole in it.
Prove that. Prove he's not shown to be a stupid fighter. Go ahead and prove that. And also,
what do you think a stupid fighter is?
What do you think? Well, before we get into that,
what do you think a stupid fighter is? I asked you the question.
Hold on, before I tell you my definition, but before I get into that, you said like we see that Poe tries to like hurt people in like the third film, right?
Okay, listen. I told you that was irrelevant. You don't really need to address that.
I want to address every claim you make. Yeah, I just don't see why that situation.
You don't have to address claims that I'm telling you aren't relevant that I'm not going to argue for.
I don't care if you think it's irrelevant. To me, that is important. Okay.
Okay, but I'm not arguing for it, so you don't have any obligation, dumbass.
You made an argument for that, and I do think it's important.
I'm telling you, I'm not going to argue for it. I said that earlier, and I'm saying that now.
Okay, then I'm gonna just say my refutation to that, and then like we can move on. Yeah, I just don't see like why this situation cannot be
in debates. If someone argues for something, then you have to address it. If I'm not arguing for it, you don't have to address it.
I mean, you can think that. I don't care what you think. Anyway,
You're shadowboxing.
Okay. What do you mean by shadowboxing? We're not playing Fortnite.
What?
We're not playing Fortnite. What do you mean by shadowboxing?
What?
Anyway,
what am I listening to? Am I going crazy? What the fuck am I listening to?
Yeah, you are.
Anyway, okay, so back to your argument about like what is for. Oh yeah, you were asking me what a stupid fighter means.
Wait, who's trying to run like tongue or box?
I think
they're scared of that topic, bro. They're scared.
I think a stupid fighter can just be someone that's like reckless in combat. Yeah,
no, I'm not asking you what it can be. I'm asking you what a stupid fighter is. What do you think a stupid fighter is?
I think it's just someone that's reckless in combat or just makes poor decisions.
What's a poor decision?
Like an example?
No, just define it. Just explain it to me. I can give you a definition. I can give you a definition if you want, if you're struggling to explain it. I think a poor decision in combat is just any decision which would lessen your chances of winning.
You know what? I mean, I'm fine. I'm fine to go with that just to see where this goes. So I'm gonna steal man see where that goes.
So Poe, when fighting literally everyone in the first two Kung Fu Panda movies, we see that all the decisions he makes literally get him closer to winning. Occasionally he does lose. He does lose. Hold on, I'm sorry. He does lose in training sometimes, but those seem to be due to a massive stat gap. Or when we're talking about the cannonball instance in the second movie when he gets hit by a cannonball, that seems to be because the cannonball has enough force to where Poe can't just grab it and just stay in place without getting flung out of the building.
Yeah, prove that, bro. Just prove everything you said, dude. I'm not gonna lie.
You're skeptical on if the cannonball in the second fucking movie knocks Poe out of the fucking building. Are you serious?
Well, the thing about like the fighting thing, like you said that like it's not shown in the first and second movie that like he doesn't like listen to his like lose his chance, like whatever you were saying about that. You can go ahead and justify that, bro. Like I'm not gonna lie.
Does he lose? Okay. Does he lose any fights in the first movie?
I don't know.
You don't know?
I know.
All right. Well, I'm not gonna go through literally the entire first Kung Fu Panda movie, all the fights, because that's gonna take too long. You're just drawing out the debate. But shut up. I'll tell you this though. I'll go through a couple major fights. We'll talk about the Tai Lung fight. We'll talk about something else, from the movie too. And if any part during those fights we see that Po loses or whatever, or makes a bad decision, which makes him do worse in the fight, then you can say that he's a bad fighter or whatever.
You made a generalization though. Like you said, like in most times when we see him fight in like the first and second movie, he doesn't like make poor decisions that like lead to like him losing.
Okay, cool. And nobody wants to sit here for an hour-long debate, which doesn't have to be an hour long because you want me to go through an entire movie for you. No, that's a stupid burden. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to say that I just think it's likely based on the fact that I am seeing these two instances prior.
Yeah. Why did these two instances mean anything, bro? Like
these two instances? Do you not think that instances of a certain person doing something can lend us credence towards believing that this person does this typically or whatever?
I don't know because
it's likely to happen.
I mean, there can be instances that you haven't brought up of him doing something dumb. Or like
hold on. The entire point of a prediction is the fact that you don't know what's going to happen. I'm giving you incomplete information. That's why I'm predicting what's going to happen. Just because I can be wrong doesn't mean anything. It doesn't defeat the argument.
Why doesn't it mean anything? Prove it doesn't mean anything. Prove it doesn't defeat the argument. Prove that. Prove that, bitch. Prove it.
Is there a contradiction in what you're saying going through and my thing being true at the same time?
Is there a contradiction? I'm not sure. Maybe. I don't know. I'm agnostic.
Okay. So unless there's a contradiction, then it's just the case that like this thing is fine. This thing can go through.
Well, is there a contradiction? Because I mean, is there?
There is no contradiction. No.
Prove there's no contradiction, bro. Go ahead and justify that.
Yeah, I don't see any motivator for there being a contradiction. Therefore, I believe that I am justified in believing that there is no contradiction.
Yeah, why is that true? Yeah, why is what you're saying true? Why don't you see any like motivator for there being a contradiction?
It applies by our intuitions. This is literally a part of like.
This
is literally a part of pattern recognition. We see this all the time.
Yeah, prove you're telling the truth, bro. Like, go ahead and prove you're telling the truth.
Prove I'm telling the truth. I don't have to prove I'm telling the truth. I don't have to prove that. But I'll say this: a lot of people, when listening to me, are probably believing that I'm telling the truth.
Why don't you prove that? Wait, why don't you need to prove you're telling the truth? Are you not claiming Are you not like you're telling the truth?
I am telling. I do think I'm telling the truth, but I don't have to prove that. I don't have to prove that because that's literally not a part of my argument. That's not a claim I made. People can rat and literally lie in debates and they'll still win. I'm not even saying I'm ratting. I'm just saying you can do that.
I mean, for your argument, I'm saying like if you're not telling the truth and you're just being purposely disingenuous, I just don't know why we should take what you're saying at like face value or to be true.
Okay, well then I would just say via the judging criteria of whichever judge is going to judge this, they're probably going to accept rat arguments to still go through. So it doesn't matter if you don't see a reason why this thing should go through. It's still a part of the judge criteria. So we're fine on that.
Yeah, prove that.
Prove that? I don't know who's going to be the judge. I can't prove that.
I mean, you can't. I mean, are you not gonna pick more? I mean,
that's not a claim that's relevant. That's literally not even like a claim that's relevant. I'm just telling you what's gonna happen after the debate. I'm not using that to argue like, oh, via the judge doing this, that's why I'm automatically gonna be right. No, the judge literally might not do that. It's just why I'm probably gonna be right.
All right, I can't lie. Let's wrap this shit up. This debate is some ass. Like, someone else needs to step it up. This is boring. I'm not gonna lie.
Like the arguments you made are very shitty, bro. Can we conclude? I think I won.
Wait, hold up. Mentality. I have not been paying attention at all. I've just been multitasking.
Can we conclude this?